What is up, everybody? Jack here with devslopes.com. Welcome back to the final installment of building our iOS client application to work with our API that we built for this course. We've got everything hooked up and working except for this lonely blank view controller here, which is our addreview VC. Now, we already have the segue hooked up here, and our identifier is show addreview VC. So let's go ahead and throw some elements on here. We'll start out with a UI view. And we'll put this on the top here just like we've been doing that little header view. And we're going to pin that left, top, right, and give it a height of 65. And then we're going to change the color to our maroon color. 7C0000. All right, and we're going to need a back button. We're going to need a label up here for the food truck. So let's go ahead and just work this way. We'll just put a button on here. And we'll put that right over here on the side and get rid of the text. And we'll give it a back arrow image. And then I'm going to hold down shift and adjust the size a little bit here. Actually, so there's our back button. Let's go ahead and grab some labels here. And we're going to put a label up here in the header. And we're going to change it to a white label. And we're going to change the default font. And we're going to make it bold. And then we're going to resize it so that it's bigger. And center it. All right. So we are going to pin our button here. Left, bottom, and we're going to pin it 20 from the left. 8 from the bottom, and we're going to give it a width and a height. And then our label, we're going to pin it bottom and give it a width and a height. And then we're going to center it horizontally in the container. All right. So now let's grab another label and put on here. And we're going to make this like a green color. And we're just going to say addreview. And we'll make it a little bigger. Change our font. That looks pretty good. And now then, we're going to need a text field right up here. And we'll stretch it all the way across. And then we're also going to need a text view. And we'll kind of make it about the same width as our text field up here. Now I'm going to take all this text out of there. And for the placeholder here for this label, we're going to put review title text. All right. And then to make this stand out just a little bit, I'm going to change the background color ever so slightly. So we're just going to bump it down a hair just so that so you can kind of see that text view. And then I need a couple of buttons. Need one for addreview. And I need another one for cancel. And I'm going to kind of move these in here. I'm going to select them both and I'm going to move them till they're kind of centered. All right. So now I'm going to add some constraints for these elements here. So we'll pin this left and top, give it a height and a width. And for this text field here, let's see. We'll pin it from this label here, and we'll give it a height and a width. And then we're going to center it horizontally in the container. And we're going to kind of do the same thing for this one. So a height and a width. We're going to pin it to the text field above. And then we're going to center horizontally in container. All right. And then same for these, except I'm going to control drag up here. And we're going to set vertical spacing, and let's try leading. And then we'll give it a height and a width. And then this one here, I'm going to control drag up. We're going to say vertical spacing and trailing. And then I'm going to give it a height and a width. All right, now let's update our views here. All right, so we've got add review and cancel. Except I want to look at my constraints. And this leading edge, I'm going to change this constant. I'm going to bring it in about 20. And then for cancel, the trailing, I'm going to do about a -20. And that's going to bring that in. So that's about where I want those. Okay. So those are all the elements laid out that we need. So now we can turn our attention to the code. So let's go over here to our add reviews VC. Actually, the first place we need to start is in our details VC, because we've got this add review button tapped here, that we don't have anything in there. So we need to take care of that. And what we need to do there is we'll say if auth service dot instance dot is authenticated is equal to true, then we know that we're already authenticated and we have a token. So we're going to perform segue with identifier. Identifier is show add review VC, and sender is self. Else, okay, so then we set up this function in the last video where we present the login VC. So else we're going to do show login VC. And that's pretty much all we've got to do there. We've still got to wire this up. So in our main storyboard, come back to our details VC here. And add review button tapped. We need to wire that up to touch up inside. All right. Now then, we need to look at our prepare for segue. So we've got the show add review VC here. And let me make sure that's the right identifier. Show add review VC. Okay, we're looking good there. And we're passing in the selected food truck, which we've got that here. All right, so now we need to add in some outlets and actions. So we need an IB outlet for our header label, we'll call it. And that's just a UI label. And then we need a review title label. And then we need a review text field. And that is a UI text view. All right, so when view did load, we really only need to do one thing, and that is we need to set our header label dot text equal to selected food truck dot name. So that's going to set that. Actually, since that's an optional, we're going to do this. We'll say if let truck equals selected food truck. And then here we will get rid of that and just put truck. And we'll say else header label. Text is equal to, we're just going to put error up there if something happens. That shouldn't be a problem. We shouldn't reach this condition here very often, but just in case, instead of it just saying label, we're going to put error, just so we'll know something went wrong. All right, so now we need a couple of things here. We need a cancel button tapped. And if that happens, we're going to go ahead and give our dismiss view controller function, or we're going to create that again. All right, so we've got our dismiss controller function that we did in an earlier lesson there. This way we can just dismiss the this view controller by calling that right there. And we need the same thing for our back button. That's going to be another IB action. And we'll just say dismiss view controller again. So let's save that. Now then, we need a add review. Let's see. We'll just say add button tapped. All right. So before I forget it, let's go over here and let's wire some things up. So our add review VC. So we got our header label there. Got our review text field there. Review title label. Oh, hang on. That is not right. Let's go back to our add review here. Review title should be review title field. That's going to be a UI text field. Okay. So let's go back here again. Add reviews. So now we've got review title field. All right. And then we've got add button tapped, which is this one. Touch up inside. We've got back button tapped. That's that one. Touch up inside. And then we also have cancel button tapped, which is that one. Touch up inside. So that should be all of our connections that we needed to make. So now let's go ahead and go back to the code. And we've got to add our code in for that add button tapped. Now we're going to do something similar to what we did in the add food truck VC. And we're going to have some guard statements in here to guard against some things. So we're going to say guard let truck is equal to selected food truck else. And then we're going to show, let's see, I need to put that show alert function in here too. So let's do that real fast. And this is nothing new. This is things we've already done. All right, so we've got to say let alert controller equal UI alert controller. And we're going to pass in the title, the message, and then the style we want to be just alert, dot alert. And then we've got to add an action. Title will be error. Style will be dot default. Handler is nil. All right, and then we will have alert controller dot add action. OK action. And then all we've got to do is just say present. And then we're going to present the alert controller. Animated is true, completion is nil. So there's our show alert function. So up here, if the selected food truck is nil, we're guarding against that. So we're just going to say show alert, and then we're going to say error could not get selected truck, and then we're going to return. All right, and then we're going to guard let title equal review title field dot text. Review title field dot text is not equal to an empty string else show alert. And then we're going to say please enter a title for your review. And then we're going to return. We're going to do another guard. Let we'll say review text equal review text field dot text, and then review text field dot text not equal to an empty string else. We're going to show alert error, and then please enter some text for your review, and then we're going to return there. All right, so at this point, if we get past all this, then we've got valid data that we need to create our reviews. So now we've just got to call that from call our data service. So we can say data service dot instance dot add new review. Now the food truck, we did this this guard let up here. So the food truck is going to be truck.id. The ID is going to be truck.id. The title is going to be just title. The text is going to be review text. And callback is our success handler here, or our completion handler. All right. So like we've done before, we'll say if success, and we'll print we saved successfully. And then we'll go ahead from here and we'll call get all reviews for truck. And that's going to reload that array in our data service and have those new reviews in there for us. So we'll just say data service dot instance dot get all reviews for truck, and then our food truck is just truck. And then we need to say self dot dismiss view controller, else self dot show alert error, and our message is just going to be an error occurred saving the new review. And then at that point, we're going to just print something to the console. All right. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So, I mean, you know, most of this stuff we've done in here, we've already done in this section already. It's just kind of, we're continuing on. And if I've got everything hooked up right, this should work at this point. I was trying to make sure that I didn't leave anything out, and I'm not thinking of anything. So let's go ahead and give it a shot and just see what we've got. Okay, so we're loaded up here. Let me move this over so we can see our responses here. So let's go to Sue's. And if we go to reviews, we see reviews. If we click add review, it takes us to add review. Let's put in a title here. Let's just say just okay. We had the tomato soup and it was just okay. So if we hit add review here, you see here we saved successfully and we get our status code 200. So that means that we did good there. So if we hit reviews, now we can see that our review is here in our table view now, because we called that get all reviews method again and it refreshed all this data. So that's pretty much a wrap. There's one thing that we haven't tried, and I'm going to go ahead and delete this app. And then we're going to rerun it. And so we know that when we click the plus button, we get the login here. Let's make sure that that's working from our review. Add review here. So if I click add review and we're not authenticated, I should get that login pop up, which we do. So I'm going to go ahead and put in, we'll start off with a bad password. We get incorrect password. Put in a correct password and that disappears. So now we can go to add review and we're no longer prompted to log in. So then we could put in something like Joe's is the bomb. Best roadkill anywhere. Bar none. Add review, and then we go to our reviews, and you see right here, here's our review. So that's it. That wraps up our application. We've got our nice little map view on here that we can zoom in and out on. And I have no idea where this is at. I believe that's Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken. That might be down close to Mike Hardin somewhere. I think Mike Hardin's right in here. Anyway, that's a wrap for our app. Hope you enjoyed this course. I really enjoyed bringing it to you. The API stuff was really cool. And it's really cool to be a full stack developer where you develop your own APIs, your own back ends, and then you build your front ends to go with those. And in our community, it's mainly, iOS and Android apps and Angular applications. So anyway, my man Johnny B, which is one of my teammates, is currently in the process. He's built an Android app to go with this also. He's currently in the process of recording those videos, so those will be up here very soon. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed the course. Please leave us a decent review if you did. And we will see you next time.